And I'm back like a flash. I mean, like a green arrow. Anyway, I don't have a lot of battery life on this camera, so I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. So, the next episode, which was last night's episode, well, actually no, Wednesday night's episode, was the Uprising. So, the Uprising, this is the synopsis on it. Still operating under the Oliver, still operating without Oliver, and desperate to stop Brick, Team Arrow is forced to consider Malcolm's offer to help shut down Brick down, as Malcolm has a personal score to settle with the felon. Roy and Laurel point out that the team could use some help to save the innocence of the Glades, but Felicity is adamantly against it. They look to Diggle to make the final decision. Meanwhile, the flashback chronicles Malcolm's descent from a kind-hearted father to the husband of cold-blooded killer at the murder of his wife. So I really liked this episode. I didn't like it as much the first time, because the first time I only saw the end, and I don't like something specifically about the end, which I'll go into as soon as I possibly can. But it's three different things going on in this episode. You got everybody trying to stop Brick. You got Diggle, Roy, Laurel that's finally on board and getting her act together, and they're trying to stop Brick from taking over, because basically he's already taken over the Glades. By the end of the last episode, the mayor had basically made the law not acceptable to even go into the Glades, so he can just reign supreme in there. And of course that doesn't stop Roy or Laura going in there. As a matter of fact, the first sequence, like when they went up into the restaurant and they started going in hands for hands, I was like, oh snap, they getting smarter. And well, she's getting smarter. Roy is just a bad egg. Like he's got himself together. Like dude's legit. And again, like I talked about last review, I don't necessarily like how Diggle is kind of confounded to being in the space. I feel like they all need to have been out there at the same exact time. But anyway, the second part that's going on is that you got Oliver overseas trying to recruit. Like, he is bad off. I mean, he's wrapped around in bandages. He looks like he barely get up and walk, but he's trying to get out. He knows because of what's the name that told him, the two people that taking care of him, they're telling him that everything is going to hell. And like that's what's going on with the city. And he's trying to get back. He's trying to convince the kind-hearted woman that is recouping his body that he needs her help, because like he knows that even when he goes back, that Ra's al Ghul is going to try to kill him. He's going to try to kill his family, and we find out about Sarah. He's going to try to kill Thea and Malcolm. So he knows that he needs help, and he knows he needs to be trained. And she basically alludes to him like only a student can teach somebody such as him how to defeat the master. And so it was really interesting dynamic that's going on there. And then you got like the stuff that's going on with Laurel and her dad, because her dad doesn't know what's going on with Sarah. He has no idea. He thinks that Sarah's up, running around, stuff like that. And so all three of these things intermerge. Whereas at the middle of it all, honestly, is Malcolm Merlyn. And in this one, they actually start showing flashbacks of who Malcolm Merlyn was. And I thought that was really interesting. Since the Arrow is not here, now you're actually seeing the Dark Arrow, the Dark Archer, being the one that they're actually showing his progression into the darkness that he is in his character. But I really liked him in this role, because in this episode you see all different layers peeled back. You see him like understand that the person that he went and thought he killed was the person that killed his wife was not that person. And then to make matters worse is the person that's taken over the Glades. And it's just such an interesting seeing him just diminish everything that he thought was real and right, and realizing that the perversion and the messed up stuff that he had done out of spite was for naught. And it's really interesting, like especially by the end of that episode. I really liked Malcolm in this episode, even Thea, because she tries to root out and let him know, like, I was worried about Thea, quite honestly, myself, because she's like, I'm not a killer at my core. I just want to be able to protect myself. But that's not what I want to ultimately do. And I thought that was a really interesting touch. The going back to the part about Roy, Laurel, and them, they understand that Malcolm was basically watching them, and they find out that he has a vendetta against Brick because of the obvious. And so they take it to a vote, and Roy is like, at first he's like, no, but he talks with Thea for a second. He starts to realize that there's more to Malcolm's character than just being the ultimate killer that we all know him to. But Felicity is opposed to it. She's like, no, he's the one that killed Oliver. He's the one that set up this. And she's right. She really is right. But her reasons are personal versus caring about the group and the city as a whole, because they had to take this person out. And so they all go to a vote, and it just from that point on, it's like they push out Malcolm, but they say, okay, look, we're going to have to do everything we can. We can't do this just by us three. We can't do it, you know? And so they go out and searching for stuff. And this is where it introduces some interesting characters. You got Wildcat, the person that trained Laurel. He comes into the fold, which I thought, at the end, they have an ultimate fight. The fight is really awesome. Like, the way that they go and pan stuff out is really well done. But then they add in, I forget the girl's name, but I think her character is going to ultimately be the Blue Bird. I really do. But anyway, it's really interesting. But then you got the Laurel and her dad, and he's slowly starting to understand that there is some lies there. And it's really interesting dynamics going all across the board. But I think the top of the list for me was Malcolm's arc in this one. I really liked the way that they flushed him out on a deeper level. And not just that, it showed him having such a love and care for Tommy. I didn't think about how does that affect him that Tommy is dead. And to me, this is just me, I don't feel like Tommy is dead. I don't know why, but I just don't. I really don't. But this is what my gripe about this episode was. At a point, in case any of y'all saw the trailer, that Oliver does make a triumphant return. Upon his return, the way that everybody greets him is okay, but to the reality of what he went through, he doesn't open up about the stuff that's like messed up on his body. He really doesn't. And the person that I thought was just gonna like look at him like, you okay, and watching stuff like that, like she just goes off, because basically he understands in his head that for me to be able to beat or even think about beating the most dangerous man in the world, I need to be taught by a dangerous man. And he has this idea that he wants to be trained by someone that she doesn't accept. And because of that, like, she's like, no, like, I don't want to be the person that XYZ. And I don't like what the writers are doing to her character. What they're doing is they're pushing her into dramatic by saying, okay, this is what it looks like with Felicity Smoke in love and wanting to yearn to love because she's gotten a taste of it. And it just, love makes people do crazy things, and this is just how dramatified her character. That's bullcrap. From season 1 to season 2, this character she's always been, in my opinion, like, in love with this man. And he's always alluded to it. But yes, they haven't really interacted, and yes, there is certain things that happen to make people dramatified. But for her to go and interact with Ray Palmer the way she is, and to doing certain things of like getting upset in this episode and like kind of going on a path that just didn't make sense for her character, I feel like this is the writers doing. They're pushing Ray Palmer to being the ultimate character, which know him to be is going to be the Atom. And I think they even show like a picture of the suit, which is really awesome looking. But it's like the writers are pushing her on him. And it's so noticeable because we know her character from this point. Like, it's like the decisions that she's making and her getting all dramatic and stuff like that, it just doesn't make sense for her character. And it's making me not enjoy her character like I do. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be like the next episode, I guarantee you, it's going to have her still interacting with everybody, and they're going to be at the command center and interact, and then all of a sudden, when it's Oliver and her alone, then she's going to be either like on him, and then she's going to be just like pushing him away even deeper, you know? And it's setting it up for her to leave the team and go with with Palmer. Honestly, that's really what it's setting it up, and I hope it doesn't end up like that. Like it just, I feel like they're doing it just to promote something that is coming ahead, and I don't like that. I really loved this episode. I thought this episode was at least deserving of a 9 or even a 10. But the thing that I didn't like about it was the way that Felicity came off. I just don't like the way that they're propelling her character in this notion. But yeah, it's really great stuff this episode. I'm tired, y'all. I just got back. I'm hot. I need to eat some food. And yeah, I'm gonna go get some food. And I'm gonna eat it. This is SCL0320 signing out. Please leave your comments below. And if you like this review, please leave a like. And like I said in the Flash review, if y'all would like for me to start doing spoiler-related reviews, I think some people have alluded to it, but I really would like to hear the comments about it. So if I have at least 3 or 4 people that comment and say that y'all want to have spoiler reviews as well, I would love to do that. And maybe me and Joe can do that together if I ever start doing these by myself. But yeah, hopefully y'all liked my review, and hopefully y'all check out definitely the episode as soon as possible. Should be on cw.tv.com, and I look at it on hulu.com. I'll do it again today. Anyway, I'm out, everybody. Arrow out. Woo!